Fargo.
If it's weird, I want to be involved with it.
There you go. There you go. And plenty of
Yeah.
pie to eat. Plenty
Right.
of pie.
If it's weird, I want to be involved with it.
There
Hey,
you
John, how about
go.
them Cardinals
There you
this
go.
weekend?
And plenty
Yeah.
of pie to eat. Plenty
Right.
of pie.
If it's weird, I want to be involved with it.
There
Hey,
you
John,
go.
how about them
There
Cardinals
you
this
go.
weekend?
And plenty
Yeah.
of pie to eat.
And hot dish. Hot dish is a staple of Minnesota, and North Dakota.
What? Haggis?
Hot dish.
Oh, hot dish. Oh,
dish.
yes. Yes.
Hot dish.
Hot dish.
Like the church potluck hot dish. Everybody
That's
brings
right.
a hot dish. Everybody it calls it casserole, but it's really a hot dish.
And really, anyone who owns a can of Campbell's cream of mushroom soup is able to make one.
Right. And for dessert, there's always Jell-O. Perfect.
I never thought about it, but next year I'm going to look. Around Thanksgiving and Christmas, if Campbell's jacks the price up on cream of mushroom.
I think they make it like 3 for $2 or something like that. So people buy a lot of it so they can stock up and make a lot of whatever they're making with it, stuffing or.
Well, I'm a
maybe not.
capitalist. I'm jacking the price up.
There you go. There you go. Do you think we're going to get a phone call tonight?
I hope so. No offense, John. I like you a lot, but I just be nice if somebody else would call in and talk to us.
It really would. It makes me lonely. I feel as if we're just talking to ourselves. Wait a minute, we are.
Oh, darn.
Oh, gosh.
Hey, you ought to be feeling all. Well, Arizona made me feel all warm and fuzzy this weekend. They helped my Packers out, took care of the Seahawks.
Yes, they did.
Although Green Bay's not helping themselves out tonight.
How are they doing tonight, Eli?
2 turnovers. Very first one, the Vikings opened up 1st and goal on a fumble, and then Rodgers threw only his 3rd interception of the year, but it was a bad one, so they're down 10-3.
Ooh. By the same token, I decided on my fantasy football team this past week, I picked up an unusual pick, the Indianapolis Colts defense.
Well, they did all right.
They did great. Oh my God. I got like 30 some points. They did everything. I was amazed. I got like 30 some points.
Colts games I've watched in its entirety, and McCaffrey is just amazing. And he's not built big. My only concern is they're going to burn him out in about 4 years.
Yeah. I want someone to call in tonight, don't we?
We do.
Someone.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are nice and everything, and it's sort of like talking to you, but by the same token.
Well, we must have some friends out there somewhere who want to call in.
You would think.
I'm not gonna choke anybody because it's a holiday week, but I think I'm gonna send out some threats of violence for next weekend. Like, I'm going to come to your house and choke you if you don't call.
Really?
And John knows I'm capable of choking someone if they make me mad enough.
That is correct. That is correct. People
I've got
can
that
call in.
Choke.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Eli, but people can call in on 646-558-8656. Right?
Well, I posted the numbers to call in today, and I also strongly suggested they use the Zoom app. So obviously I have no friends.
Wow.
They're probably wrapping presents or something, or watching football.
Most of them are probably
Okay.
watching football.
Yeah, it's
Hey.
probably true.
Pacers are getting their ass kicked by the Raptors on the other channel. So,
Ooh,
well, they've played pretty. Pacers have played pretty well though.
they
Even if they
have.
lose, they'll be 5-2 in their last 7.
Yeah.
Got annihilated in Milwaukee last night, but that's not a bit. I mean, they annihilate everyone.
Well, we need to, let's see here. Doggone it. Let me send some messages out. Maybe that's it. Maybe
Hey,
we just need to, what?
how's your Arena League guy that we spoke to a couple weeks ago? We need an update from him.
Yeah, we do. And I have not heard all that much. I really haven't.
Well, I think the enforcers here have started their season ticket sales. I know
They
Coach
have.
Carter's posted the schedule a couple of times.
Yeah.
So I'm anxious to see how many he gets sold.
What's the over under on that?
Ooh, I don't know. I hope he does well.
So
I think I mean, I'm going to throw this out. We have a pretty decent minor league hockey team here.
yes,
Get in
you
bed
do.
with them for a night. You know, if you go to the hockey game,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you have 2 tickets to the hockey game. You present them, and we give you a free football team ticket.
Oh, I thought you were going
That's a
to stop
deal.
after football team.
Well, I want to see the
The whole
place
team.
packed. If you get there and the place is packed, people are going to want to come back. You get there and there's 50 people in the Coliseum, that's going to look bad.
Yeah, it is.
Coliseum's big. If you even if you have a decent crowd for that level of play at another venue, it's going to look small in there, John. You've been in there a lot. That's a big place.
Sure. Absolutely.
Do they have
Absolutely.
giveaways to incentivize it so people like here when the
I don't know. I'm not as close to arena football as John is, indoor football, but I'm telling you, to me, if I go to a game and there's nobody there in the first one, that's really deflating.
Yeah. You almost have to have enough people to make enough noise to keep the
Right.
excitement going.
And that's part of the allure of indoor football is everything else beside the game. The game's important, but everything else is too. Correct me if I'm wrong, John.
That's right. Absolutely. I mean, we're talking explosions and the lights going out and ear-piercing heavy metal music.
Okay, I'm in.
Wow.
Guys on motorcycles.
Yeah.
Guys on motorcycles?
Oh,
you
gosh,
could probably
yes.
talk me into doing a loop-de-loop, John.
Yeah. No, I mentioned that to Casey. I said, Eli could ride a motorcycle in to get the crowd pumped.
Absolutely. No pipes.
That's right. And, that's what they do here in Phoenix. Our mascot is a long-haired gentleman who wears lots of leather on a Harley, and his name is Fang, F-A-N-G. And Fang gets the crowd totally pumped up before player introductions. He's the first one out on the field, and they've cut the lights. So all you see is this giant headlight from a Harley. It's impressive.
Wow.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
But it's just the one guy. It's not like they're doing Harley formations or something, right?
Oh, they've done that. Yes, they have. They brought about 15 or 20 onto the field at the beginning of the game. Yes. Now, up in Duluth, Minnesota, we did indoor football up there, and we had a truck come through. We'd cut the lights, we'd pop the smoke. The cheerleaders had made a line for the players to come out. And yet what we had was a truck that came out and of course could not see through the smoke and veered to one side, sending the cheerleaders scattering.
Oh my.
Boy,
And
that would
then-
be bad news.
And then we had the mascot come out behind the truck, and he was dressed as a lumberjack and he carried a gigantic axe. And he was drunk.
It sounds like horror football, doesn't it? Like,
You know,
Like-
So at that point,
yeah.
wherever the cheerleaders were, they were running at this point.
And then they
The
had a guy
drunk
with a chainsaw,
drunk
right?
guy with the axe was like the cherry on top.
Oh, God. And was it? Oh, it was indoor, so you didn't have to deal with the snow at least.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
It was-
Well, that's a
Yeah,
good point. You know,
Duluth.
I mean, it's,
they had about 4,000 people in there watching this.
well, that's not too bad.
The commissioner of the league was in the press box, and all of a sudden, I'm down on the floor. And all of a sudden, my walkie-talkie kicks in, and the commissioner of the league says, and I quote, "I just fired the music guy and the PA guy.
Oh,
Get your ass up here right now." So, approximately 2 minutes later, you heard my voice booming through the DECA Arena in Duluth, Minnesota. And it surprised everyone, myself included. But
did you do the music too?
I got someone to help with the music, but I didn't have a roster.
Oh, that's
The guy
that's
who was
pretty hard.
fired got pissed and he took everything off the desk.
No.
All I had was a microphone.
you better send that commissioner out after a program.
Yeah, pretty much. Fortunately, I was the assistant GM of one of the teams, so I did know some of the players by name, and that helped. And I opened everything up with this booming announcement going, "This is not a library." And we began getting the people into the game. We hustled the lumberjack off the field.
Wow.
Got him coffee, lots of coffee. Remember that. And the fact that he was my oldest son did not help. Did not help one bit.
So it's like a family thing, right?
It was. It was.
Oh, John, I just had a flashback, buddy. I just
What?
saw the younger Brumley in a lumberjack outfit. Since we're
Yep.
talking about drunks.
Randy,
No, the other one, Mike.
Mike. Yeah, there you go. I mean, it's kind of like, what the hell? What the hell? But I digress. I know that, Peggy, have you ever gone on to the Landover Baptist Church website?
Oh,
No.
Well, you just
No.
type in landoverbaptist.org and they will tell you where the worthwhile worship and the unsaved are unwelcome. They have a do-it-yourself circumcision.
Oh,
That's the
that's
lead
bad.
thing.
With a nail clipper,
Circumcise
right?
yourself.
I knew they were wacky. I thought. Now I know they
Look
were.
between your legs. Does your penis look like Jesus's penis? And
Oh my.
they have pictures of kitchen knives.
Well, I've never seen Jesus's wiener, but he was Jewish and he obeyed Jewish law. So I got a pretty good idea of what's going on down there.
Well, it says for this procedure, you will need a kitchen knife, a can of Crisco, a roll of paper towel,
Wow.
and your penis.
Yeah, glad we're bringing that.
4 easy steps. I can't imagine that they're easy.
I was going to say, if they said we can do it in 4 steps, okay, I'm not buying into the easy.
It's amazing. They have a Facebook page. They have a website.
What's it again? Landover?
Landover Baptist Church. LandoverBaptist.org.
Huh.
Well, since we're on removal of body tissue, John, I'll tell you a story my sons love. I had this mole. It was on the front of my left shoulder, and it kept growing, and it was red, and it started getting dark, and it was right where the strap of my vest set. So it rubbed it all the time. It was always sore. It was always bleeding. I was sitting watching Monday Night Football one night. I looked over at my sons, and I said, I'm going to bite this damn thing off. And they started laughing. So I reached over, pulled my shoulder toward me as much as I could, got my teeth around it, and proceeded to bite it off. And it was about the size of a fingernail. And it bled profusely for about 2 hours. But I didn't have to go to the doctor, and I didn't have to pay anything. So it's kind of like your website there. I did a do-it-yourself mole removal.
Ew.
Yeah. After I did it, I wish I hadn't, because it really hurt. But it was just so aggravating. So anyway, I guess I do have a bite of body tissue story, John. Off.
Wow. That's
How about tattoos? Do you guys have do-it-yourself tattoos?
No, do it yourself. No, jailhouse tattoos suck.
No.
I have lots of tattoos, but no jailhouse.
Huh.
My job was very restrictive on, you couldn't have any show until last year. So all of mine, except for the one on my ankle, are under clothing. Now I've started, since we can have them visible, I've started getting them in visible areas.
Wow. I always think it must hurt. I'm a chicken about needles.
It's more irritating, starts getting irritating toward the end. The longest I've sat in the chair is 6 hours. And I tell you, after about that 4-hour mark, you're like, God, please just stop. But you keep going because you're cheap and you don't want to come back.
Oh, God, John, I found the Landover Baptist Church site.
Does it look like it's going to hurt?
It says armed churchgoers slaughter thousands of endangered species in rousing show of support for President Trump. It's bizarre. Guaranteeing salvation since 1620. Oh, this can't be for real. This is just a... where do you find these things anyway?
It's John. What do you expect? He's the wizard for a reason.
Well, it's definitely someplace you wouldn't wander into. I probably wouldn't have thought of it. That's for sure. It's got headlines like, "Is Santa Claus really Satan in disguise? Take the Bible poop quiz and more."
Oh wow! I might have to go take that one.
Oh, they have like
Okay, I'm back.
bendable Christ toys.
Hey, John must have been
Yeah.
taking that quiz.
No, I wasn't doing the quiz. I had to take a leak. So, I mean, I'm old.
Hey, I'm there with you,
Whoa.
John.
Whoa.
Oh,
This is disturbing to look at. The Landover Baptist Church, guaranteeing
It is.
salvation since 1620. The do-it-yourself circumcision does not look good.
Ugh.
I didn't
think you're-
see that.
Well,
I haven't gotten to that yet.
oh, but you saw the Christmas card, right?
They have, well, there's an ad here that says, "What would Jesus do?" song that you can order to, for a gift and for a Christian love offering.
That's right. Yeah. And you can get t-shirts from them. If you've been labeled by the Lord, we've got you covered. And so you can wear a t-shirt that says heathen.
Huh.
Well, I wear a T-shirt that says "tattooed heathen." Does that count?
That could.
I bet they don't like tattoos, do they, John?
I've lived a long time on this earth and I've never gotten a tattoo.
Well, the thing I like about me is I got them back before everyone had them. I've got some that are 40 some years old. Back when I got tattoos, my first one, it's like, oh my God, you've got a tattoo. You either got to be a criminal, a biker, a drug addict. Now it's like you look around and someone says, oh, I don't have a tattoo. And you're like, what the hell's wrong with you?
So what was your first tattoo? What did it say on it? Was it like a
Well,
saying
I was
or
no, you won't laugh.
Heart with mom on it?
You won't laugh. It was Mighty Mouse.
Mighty Mouse?
Yep. I was a little guy for a lineman, even in high school. Well, high school I was pretty good size, but they used to call me Mighty Mouse when I was at the gym because I was pretty stout for not a real big guy. So
do you remember the song?
What's that?
Do you remember the song?
Here I come today. Come to save the day.
Here I come to save the day.
Used to kick Oil Can Harry's ass all the time. I still watch Mighty Mouse.
I do too.
I like Mighty Mouse. Yeah, I haven't seen that cartoon for a long time, but yeah, I like that and Bullwinkle.
Oh, all right. What college did Bullwinkle play quarterback for?
What's the matter, you?
You got it. Don's got the winner. I always try to have a sports trivia question every week, and
there you go.
There you go.
Wow, I'm looking at the Landover Baptist Church gift shop for their T-shirts, and it's kind of disturbing. Like, my Catholic priest molested your honor roll student.
Oh my God.
That's a T-shirt. Or the last time Jesus showed up in church, they killed him. I mean, God.
Yeah, this is a bizarre site.
These are, well, I don't know.
They have Brother Harry is the Bible answer man. Maybe we could get him. Maybe we could call him up and ask him a question.
Oh Lordy.
Oh, yeah.
But those people, if you get on the wrong side, they never stop. That's the problem of invoking.
Yeah. Now, they're selling bumper stickers that say, too many Christians, not enough lions, which would get you noticed in an airport.
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, wow. it's just, I
They,
don't even know
they,
what to make of all of this.
they have,
Landover Baptist official online gift site. Very, very disturbing.
you can get a Landover Baptist Book Burning Club t-shirt. A Landover Baptist Sin Patrol.
Oh, WWJB. Who would Jesus bomb?
Oh, how did we get on this? This is crazy.
Abstinence makes the church grow fondlers. Wow.
You can get hunting permits. They have a demon hunting permit that you can get.
Eli would
Tag
get
not
one.
required.
Eli would get one. Yes, he would. It's just, this is, wow. All I can say is wow.
Yeah. How did you find this? Do you Google these things or they just come to you?
Do-it-yourself circumcision. If you Google that, Landover Baptist Church comes up quickly. Now, that raises the question, who in God's name would actually Google how to circumcise yourself? I mean, really. But yes, they evidently have a kit.
John, you worked intake, so you know what kind of freaks are out there.
I do. I do. And if I had a whole bunch of these t-shirts, I could have made so much more money at my job. Because, you know, I have basically free reign to their books. And so I could just take, you know, $20 out and give them a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Hmm.
You know, and you know, they have t-shirts from Landover Baptist that just say, you know, fornicator or heathen or, you know, just single names like
there's
that.
two I would wear, John.
You would.
I'd wear fornicator and heathen, yeah.
Yeah.
How about infidel? They have infidel and witch. Heretic.
I'm not a witch. I definitely kind of a heretic. I'm an outcast religion-wise. I'm Serbian Orthodox, but I've got some New Age and Native American blended in there. So,
and how many Serbian Orthodox churches are currently located in Speedway, Indiana?
not in Speedway, but we're up on Marsh Road.
You are up on Marsh Road.
Yes, sir.
And do you go to church there?
Yes, sir.
And what kind of church membership are we talking? Big church, little church?
Oh no, most of the Orthodox churches like that are very small. 100 plus is a big day for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not opulent. We're very very down to earth place.
Is it in Serbian language or is it in English?
Both.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
We've got you know, Greek Orthodox here, like most people, and we've got Bulgarian and a few others. There's even Ethiopian Orthodox now here, which I still can't get their priest to tell me for sure if they've got the Ark of the Covenant or not. He just smiles.
He knows.
He knows.
Got it.
If it's anywhere, it's there. I personally think it was melted down when Jerusalem fell.
Huh.
But if anybody's got it, I put my money on the.
Well,
East
I owned a baseball team back in 2003 that became relatively famous in just 16 games. And we lived in what used to be the old miners' hospital, where a lot of people died. Let's just put it that way. And so we had a ghost in our apartment. We named him Timmy.
Timmy.
And we could look from our apartment down into the Serbian neighborhood of Bisbee, Arizona.
Bisbee? How big is Bisbee? Is it a little town or big town or?
It's a little town. It's probably about 5,000. And there was a Serbian Orthodox church
Right on.
right down the street. And they only had 2 services a year.
Oh my.
Well, again, the mine's closed. And every mining community in southern Arizona, they lived separately. They had their own town. The Serbians all lived in what was called Bakerville. And then you had, every ethnicity and race were all divided and they all lived together. The Polish lived in one town and the Mexicans lived in another and the blacks in one, and it went on and on. So when you get a lot of Serbian miners, and we had a lot of Serbian miners, they had their own community.
I'm going to guess there was a lot of drinking and fighting.
Yes, there was. In fact, the famous story is in 1909, the miners in Bisbee, Arizona decided they were going to get uppity. And they started talking to union representatives. That was not a good thing to do in a mining town. So what they did is all the union sympathizers, they loaded them into boxcars in Bisbee, Arizona, under armed guard, and they took the train into New Mexico, stopped in the middle of the desert, let them out, and said, "Don't ever come back or you're a dead man." It was called the Bisbee deportation. And they put them all in my ballpark before they loaded them onto rail cars. And thus, a lot of the Serbians went bye-bye and became citizens of New Mexico, I assume. But it was unpleasant times.
Was there a time period of Serbian immigration here? I mean,
yes.
Yeah.
Serbian.
My grandparents and father were immigrants.
They did coal, right?
Yep. Yes, they did. Mining, I wish more people, being from West Virginia, it's a sensitive thing to me. I wish more people knew the history of what miners went through in this country.
Sounds like it was awful.
This everybody makes fun of West Virginians and that Appalachian belt down there, but that coal in Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and all those areas, that built in the East Industrial Might, and
yes, it did.
There's a debt there that will never be repaid to those people, especially Peg. I don't know how familiar you are, but the mining companies owned the town. You could only spend, they didn't use U.S. currency. They gave you their own currency. So you were stuck there, and whatever rules and usury rates they charged on stuff, you had to pay. It was horrible.
I went into an operating company store back in the late 1970s. And yes, they were issuing scrip, is what it was called.
Yep.
And the company store was not just a store. It was the movie theater. It was the pool hall. It was the women's club headquarters. It did it all. And so it's the Tennessee Ernie Ford song, which was completely and absolutely true.
Yes, sir.
Everything was owed to the company store. Everything.
They controlled every aspect of your life.
They decided what shifts you were going to work, where you were going to live, whether your kids were going to get educated, everything. You didn't leave the community. If you were in Coalwood, West Virginia, that's where you stayed. Unless you were a Union sympathizer, because then you start getting into the Hatfield and McCoy era, which was not pleasant in West Virginia.
Yeah, the mine wars were something else.
The mine wars were incredible. The Battle of Blair Mountain.
You know, they took the top off that mountain, John, recently.
Yeah, they did.
Year. That's a shame.
That is a historic site.
When people talk to me about the government wouldn't do this, the government wouldn't do that, I'm like, educate yourself. Go read about the Battle of Blair Mountain.
That's right.
You know, they had the National Guard was bombing these miners.
Yeah. They were
machine gunned
from the air. Yeah.
So it did happen. You know,
yeah. In fact, who was it? Who was it who led the Air Force in Blair Mountain? I wondered. It was someone famous. I don't remember who it was, but it was somebody of notoriety. And you can still you can go around Blair Mountain and still find used shells.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Show I used to watch called Diggers. They went there and dug up a bunch.
Yeah. Yeah, the West Virginia mine wars were just, the Mingo County Sheriff was gunned down on the courthouse steps because he was a Union sympathizer, and his name was Sid Hatfield of the Hatfield and McCoys.
Oh,
and he was acquitted in court, and so the hired guns mowed him down on the courthouse steps.
John, I remembered who the Air Force general was.
Who was
Billy
it?
Mitchell. Billy Mitchell.
Billy Mitchell. There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, while we're talking about travesties of justice and abuse of minors, I went to see the limited release Dark Waters this week.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I teared up twice in it.
What is that about?
Do you remember Parkersburg with the big Dow chemical where they were dumping basically a runoff from Teflon in it for 50 years?
Yeah.
And all the cattle and people were dying and teeth falling out black. It's the story of that and how it took 30 years in the courts to finally get that resolved. Go see it. It's really good. Like I say, it made me tear up twice. And
I remember the Kanawha River catching on fire.
Yes, I was sitting there thinking about it. I was in the movie.
Yep. I remember when that happened. Right there by the Nitro, West Virginia Bridge.
I've always loved that name, Nitro.
Yeah. Well, my wife's favorite is Polka because of the high school team nickname.
And it is
Hmm.
They are the polka dots.
Ah, well,
Polka dots.
you
Oh,
being
yeah.
from West Virginia are probably familiar with this. If I had stayed there longer instead of attending 10th, 11th, 12th grade here, I would have went to Bluefield High School. I went to the junior highs, and I would have been a Beaver, John.
That's true. That
I
is
always wanted to
true.
be a Bluefield Beaver.
kind of like being a golden gopher.
Yeah, but there's just something about
Absolutely,
yelling
yeah.
"Go Beavers" over the. Hey, speaking of that stadium that even I played in junior high,
Yeah.
won best high school football stadium in the country. All the Texas schools were really pissed off that their multi-million dollar scoreboards and shit didn't sway the voters. But that little Mitchell Stadium down there won it. I
Huh.
shouldn't say little; it's big. Popular stadium will hold more than the population of the town. But
Well, and Bluefield is a very notable town. Bluefield is where the very first food stamps were distributed.
no kidding.
No kidding. It was either Bluefield or Welch, but it was down there in that neck of the woods. But Bluefield had the very first parking garage in the United States. Multi-level, where you actually had to pay to park your car. And they're everywhere now. But
And what state is Bluefield in? Is that in West Virginia too?
yes, it is.
Absolutely.
In fact, had Eli gone to the high school there in Bluefield, who would your classmate have been, Eli?
Ooh, I don't know.
Well, the motion picture about the world's smartest man.
Oh, John Nash.
Yes. He went to
My mother knew
Bluefield.
him, not biblically, but she did know him.
Yeah, there you go. This is the guy who, he graduated from college when he was, I don't know, something silly like 14.
Yeah.
And he went to Bluefield. He took courses, however, at Bluefield College, I believe. But, it's interesting. You look at West Virginia, you look at Southern West Virginia, you go, holy smokes. This is crazy down here. There are a bunch of hillbillies, and yet the motion
But
picture A
beautiful
Beautiful
country.
Mind. That was who
Oh
John Nash was.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And my mom also knew the guys that were in the three Rocketeers from
The Rocket
Gary.
Man.
Yeah.
The Rocket Men came from, and people go, well, it's a backward state. No, not if you have people like John Nash, Chuck Yeager, the guys, the Rocket Men, who, my goodness, the people that came out of Southern West Virginia is just phenomenal.
Well, John, as you may or may not know, I'm a big horror punk fan.
Mothman?
No, I'm a horror punk music horror band guy.
Oh,
I love
okay.
the Misfits. It's one of my tattoos is Misfits, and I'm good. And I'm friends with Jerry Only, leader of the band. But also, Bluefield, West Virginia spawned one of the best horror punk bands, Blitz Kid.
Huh.
So,
wow.
If you're really bored and you want to freak your kids out, listen to Blitz Kids while they're around. They'll never look at you the same again, John.
I guess not. Now, being from
doesn't West Virginia?
Go ahead.
I mean, I think I've only driven through a little part of West Virginia, but it's a beautiful state.
It is.
But the roads are just amazing. Is that the one where the roads are cut through the mountains and it's just
Yep.
incredible? Was that West Virginia?
Absolutely.
I mean,
Well, I tell you, I tell people there's a tale of two West Virginias. The northern part's just like that northern third. It's just like being in Ohio or Pennsylvania. Then you get down to that rural southern part, south central part. That's where we're, I think, a little more the true Appalachians.
Oh yeah.
You know, that northern part, I tell people, that's where all the civilized people live. I lived in a holler, you know.
Now, it wasn't one of those sundown hollers, was it?
Oh, no, John.
Because I've been in those, and those are scary.
Nope. I was a farm kid.
Have you ever heard of Hazel Adkins?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay. He's from Boone County. He's dead. I saw the chair that he used to sit in before he died. He was rockabilly.
Right on.
He you can get CDs about him. He really enjoyed songs that tended to glamorize decapitating chickens.
Oh God.
He had an affinity for chickens, sexual intercourse, and decapitation. And that's what his songs were all about. I have 2 of his CDs.
Wow.
He had a cult following. And
I bet.
he took rockabilly one step further. And now there is a genre in music that is called psychobilly.
Yeah.
He invented it.
I've never heard of this.
No. Oh, yeah.
Hazel Atkins invented it.
I'll have to check into him because I'm a big Gothabilly fan also. 69 Cats and those kind of guys, you know.
Yeah. He distributed and recorded in the mid-50s.
What's this guy's name?
Hazel, Hasil Adkins.
All right, I got it. I'll look at him after the.
He died back in 2005, and right after he died, I was there in Boone County, and I got to go and see his sitting chair by the creek. He was a one-man band. He played the guitar, the drums, the harmonica, and did all the lyrics. Unbelievable. He had heard a record when he was a kid in southern West Virginia, and he thought, wow, that's really, who did that? And, you know, he'd look at it, say like Dwayne Eddy or whatever. And he just naturally assumed that all the background music was played by this one guy. So he decided he would learn how to play all the instruments and have a one-man band. In the 1980s, he was big time. He was raised in a tar paper shack, rented from a local coal company there in Boone County.
Are we gonna have to fill Peg in on what tar paper is? Tar paper shanties?
No, I know about that. Yeah,
Well, being
people
a
who are-
siren of Sarasota, I wasn't sure how much you were up on the hillbilly culture.
Yeah, psychobilly.
You know, I think
Yeah. I can't
Well,
believe
there are
I've
a
never
lot
heard of
of-
this guy, John, because I like that kind of stuff.
well, if you own any of his vinyl records, they're worth quite a bit. Like $25, $20.99. just looked him up on Amazon Music. He's, who is the guy who played the piano, who married his cousin, who
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Jerry Lee Lewis. He looks
Years old.
Killer.
the picture of him. He has an album called Peanut Butter Rock and Roll, and he looks sort of like Jerry Lee Lewis in that picture, only he's playing the guitar.
Well, if he's from West Virginia, it's probably a guitar.
Well,
A guitar, yeah.
Hassel Atkins, his nickname was The Haze. And he toured with Dancing Go-Go Chicken Dancers. His diet consisted of 2 gallons of coffee and copious amounts of liquor and cigarettes. That was his diet.
I can go with a coffee.
There you go. He had 3 loves in his life: girls, guitars, and cars. They drove back in 57. He and 3 friends drove a car off a mountain, tumbled 70 feet into Pond Fork. The driver died. Hassel survived, although he had permanent back injuries. But back in 83, he was arrested. He was living with his girlfriend. He was in his 30s, and his girlfriend was in her early teens. So that was not good. That was not good. And then another relationship ended in jail time when a shootout occurred. He was a manic depressive, an insomniac, and then, of course, mental diseases.
Well, he and I do have some things in common.
Well, he was struck in his front yard while sitting on the chair that I saw in Boone County. An ATV driven by a teenager hit him at full speed.
Woo.
And then 11 days later, he was found dead in his home. Boone County being 11 days late on most everything. But he was influenced by Jerry Lee Lewis. And he was one of the greatest shows on earth.
I guess he recorded his songs in his bedroom using one mic and a drum kit from 1955 to 65.
Yeah.
He must have been a multi-talented, huh?
Well, sorta. I lived in Madison, West Virginia. That's in Boone County. And his first hit was called No More Hot Dogs. It was a song about decapitating a girlfriend and keeping her head as a wall mount.
Dark.
It was a tradition of his to mail a copy of each album he released to the current president of the United States. Richard Nixon actually wrote him back saying,
Really?
I'm very pleased by your thoughtfulness in bringing these particular selections to my attention.
His collection.
Oh, Lordy.
Yeah, he saw a resurgence.
Maybe that caused Watergate.
It could have. Did you ever hear the punk group The Cramps?
Oh, I've got cramp stuff, dude.
Okay. The Cramps doing She Said, that's a remake of Hassel Atkins.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
He
going
was
to check him out.
approached by the former Cramps drummer and her husband about releasing some of his work.
Hey, she's like 70 now, but she's still hot.
Really? Yeah. Well, evidently he worked with them to put out an album in '86 called Out to Hunch.
A hunch
Which
is supposed
was-
to be a dance, right? Popular dance, the hunch.
I don't think so with this guy.
No, his, oh, man. The New York Times claimed back in '87 that his Wild Man, they named it the Rock Album of the Week. So he had a cult following. And
There's a review of one of his albums, and it says, "This guy is the real thing." And
Yep, there you
unadorned,
go.
unadulterated Jerry Lee Lewis, Little Richard, and Chuck Berry. Feel the power.
yeah,
So
he recorded an album called What the Hell Was I Thinking
Mm.
on the Mississippi blues label Fat Possum. Poultry in Motion. I have that album.
Of his?
Yeah. Poultry in Motion.
Yeah, I'm going to check him
Chicken
out.
run, the chicken hop, the chicken flop, the chicken wobble, and chicken on the bone.
Well, I'm especially sold now that you let me know he was involved with the Cramps.
There you go.
You got that punk surf guitar thing going, you know.
Oh, well, he was in several motion pictures too. He was in Die You Zombie Bastards. Not familiar with that one.
I'm sure I saw it in the haze sometime in my life.
The Heart is Deceitful Above All Things and Hair High. He was inducted into the West Virginia Music Hall of Fame back in 2018.
I'll be dang.
So the Cramps attribute many of their traits to Hassel Atkins.
Well, I'll be darned.
So there you go.
Right.
It's amazing, huh?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, dude, I literally, as soon as we get off the show here, going to look this guy up. I'm excited now that you told me he was in bed with the Cramps.
there you go. And his influences not only included Little Richard, but Colonel Harlan Sanders, the inventor of Kentucky Fried Chicken. He
So now
loved
we got
that.
a chicken inspiration, huh?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Peg. This chicken thing's
Yeah.
interesting, to say the
The
least.
hunch was understood to be a dry humping dance craze. Anyway,
How did I miss that one?
I know. He invented dance. Oh my God. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He has 10 albums. And he was in 5 movies. Wow. And
Hey,
he's
what's
gone. And so are we. We've run out of time. It's 8:03. We got to call it quits. We're off next week, kids.
Right on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's spend 2 weeks recruiting some losers to call us.
Yeah, we'll have to. Maybe we can post something like on the inside of bathroom doors or something in some of the bars. And see if
For a
somebody
good
will
time, call whatever the number is.
Well, okay. I'm going to post on X Monk Scenario that the original Peggy Ness and John Guy are together doing a podcast. Let's see if we get any callers from up in the frozen tundra of northern Wisconsin, huh? All right. Well,
scary.
for 2 weeks, we get a break. So for all of the people who are going to be listening to this, go out and rent the film Die You Zombie Bastards. Get some albums from the Cramps.
Absolutely.
And we wish all of you especially from our Baptist church that we've never heard of before. Landover Baptist Gift Shop. Check it out. We will wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah, as the Landover Baptist Church says on their greeting cards. Jesus is the reason for the season, and he's also the reason you're going straight to hell. So for all of us, a pleasant holiday season. I'm John Guy.
And I'm Eli.
I'm Peg.
Bye-bye now.
See you guys. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.